everyone, I'm Dr. Tracy Scapestra and this is your new activity demo. Today we're going to be connecting the math curriculum to the dance curriculum and bringing them together in a really simple way. I'm going to be doing this for you with primary students in mind, but you can make this more complicated for students that are in the junior or intermediate grades. So this is an activity that works from kindergarten all the way through to grade 8. So let me start. I'm going to show you a piece of paper that has two letters written on it, the letter A and the letter B. And so what we're going to be doing is exploring the pattern AB through movement. So we are going to give A movement and we're going to give B a movement. So A equals, B equals. So let me show you some movement ideas. So think about locomotor and non-locomotor movement, and there are so many amazing ways to move. So here's a list of examples: slash, wave, flick, march, twirl, bounce, walk. And of course there's crawl and there's jump, there's a run. There are so many other ways that students can move. So here's just a list, and I chose two movements from this list that are easy to demonstrate in front of the camera for you. So let me show you. I have decided that A equals march and B equals flick. So every time I do the first part of my AB pattern, I'm going to be marching. And when I do the second part of my AB pattern, I'm going to be doing flick. And I'm going to give each letter 8 counts. So I'm going to march for 8 and I'm going to flick for 8. So I'm going to do this 2 times through so you can see. And I'm going to keep it really simple. So I'm going to just march and then flick, march and then flick, just as we are right now. And I'm warming up my body. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see that I went from the A to the B, the A to the B, a simple AB pattern, which was march, flick, march, flick. Now, I want to make it a little bit more interesting. So I am going to add some movement concepts to this simple AB pattern. And I'm going to show you some things that we could possibly work with. So we could introduce the concept of size to our students, such as big and small. We could add the concept of levels, which is high, low. We could add the concept of pathways, which is how we move on the floor. So that could be curved or straight. And then we also have the concept of, and I can't read it upside down, effort, and that could be strong or light. So I have taken from here some ideas of how I want to make my pattern really interesting and make it a little bit more fun. So let me show you. I decided that A equals march and B equals flick. But what I'd like to do is not only am I going to march, but I am going to march strong and I'm going to march in a straight line. And with the flick, I'm going to flick light and up high. So it goes a little something like this. And again, we're going to still use our 8 counts. So I'm going to march strong. So before I was just marching on the spot. Now this time my march might be really intentional and you can see that my movement is strong. And I'm going to march in a straight line. So I'm going to move away from the camera and I'm going to move back to the camera. If I were in a big open space, I might just move straight forward in my line. With flick, I'm going to make my flicks light and I'm going to flick them up high. So I'm going to put that together. So I am going to march and flick, so my AB pattern, but I'm going to march strong and straight line, and I am going to flick light and up high. So I'm going to do it 2 times through. So here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Wonderful. So now we can add one more element that I think is really fun. And this is the concept of freeze. So you can see at the bottom I've added a freeze. Now when I freeze, I'm going to freeze in a shape. And I've decided that it would be really fun to make these shapes curved. So think about how it is that you can freeze, but you can freeze in a curved shape. So everything is rounded. So it could be freezing curved this way, curved, curved. So that's whole idea, is that we're just adding new movement variations, new concepts. And then I can put it all together. So again, I have each A and B, those are 8 counts, and I'm going to add my freeze, which is also 8 counts. And I'm going to do it in between, so it's going to go A, freeze, B, freeze. So again, that freeze comes at the end of my A phrase, and then it comes again at the end of my B phrase. So here we go. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and freeze. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wonderful. So you can see how I put the whole thing together. Now what I can do is I can add music, and I can do it from beginning all the way to the end with any kind of music. Now the other thing that you can do with students is that you can add the letter C. So you can change your pattern. So instead of it just being A, B, you can now do A, B, C. So now C also gets a type of movement. And then you can add the different concepts to it and add the freezes in between. You can really make it more complicated in terms of the amount of counts that the beats get. So for example, when you are moving through the movement, so for example, my march could be worth 32 counts, my flick could be 16 counts, and my freeze is only 8 counts. So there's a lot of fun in there where you can play with the math and play with the movement. So that is a simple A-B pattern. We actually have this written out in full on our website. So there is this math in motion activity that takes you from the basics and moves it all the way to something much more complicated for your much older students. And again, you can start as simply with students. We're just saying, let's make a bunch of A, B patterns. And what are different movements? So what would A be? What would B be? And then you change it up. Let's do something totally different. This time it's going to be a jump and a leap. This time it's going to be a stretch and a shake. What will happen is the students will really start to make the connections with their body, the movement, the counting, their heart will be up. This is fantastic for brain breaks. This is just a great way to get DPA, daily physical activity, in and have fun. So that's your activity demo for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again. Until next time, I wish you well.